Welcome into ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tenitra. Coming up on today's show, it's about damn time.
So no DJ, no dub for the Hawks. But should I feel like if there's no DJ, the automatically there's no dub?
And then for the culture, we have a brand new Black College Hall of Fame class. It's about to go down right here on ATL Day Ones. Don't go anywhere.
This is ATL Day Ones, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. And it starts now.
Just want to say thank you for making ATL Day Ones your first listen of the day. And remember, we're free and available wherever you download your podcast. And wherever you download your podcast, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. We really appreciate that from you in advance. And today's show is brought to you by Bet Online T. It's finally here, the day the Falcons fans can celebrate, they can clap. Desmond Ridder, according to multiple sources, because ain't nobody giving nobody credit for being first on this one. There are multiple sources that Desmond Ridder will be the starter versus the New Orleans Saints down in the NOT. My first question to you is initial thoughts when you saw the news came out.
I think this was a good move because this is something that you don't need lingering when you start practices on Monday or you start breaking down film, or even if you start that process in advance, especially with him being a rookie and he's never started a game in the NFL. This actually gives you an extra few days just to kind of start getting him ready, understanding the playbook, kind of reacclimating himself with the playbook, or getting some extra reps in if he so chooses with some of his receivers, just really having the time that you need to prep, and also just putting this to bed for Marcus Mariota, like right. Arthur Smith just sitting down with both of his QBs and explaining how he got to this point so that you can just move forward. So for me, I thought, all right, finally we got the news. Now we can talk more strategy as the days go on. Like, what does that start look like? Does that change a lot of the scheming for the Falcons as they head into that Saints game, especially because, like we talked about a couple days ago, this will be like a get back game for the Falcons. Yes, it helps them for their playoff hopes, but on the same token, we all know what happened in week 1. So you really do hope for a better outcome with Desmond Ridder. Personally, Jarvis, I really like the move. I think it was the most appropriate thing to do.
I think that's the best way to put it. It was the most appropriate thing to do. He did what's best for the team. Head coach Arthur Smith, not offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. Now, offensive coordinator Arthur Smith has some. I don't think he has anything to worry about as far as changing anything, right? I think that we're not going to see as many RPOs and all that stuff and quarterback runs and everything like that. I definitely don't see we're going to see it more than that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to throw the ball more. I think it's going to be a heavy emphasis on the run. I think you're going to see a lot more different type of formations and everything. As far as you might see Cordell Patterson split out wide, and he and Tyler Algier are going to be in the game a little bit more often. We saw a little bit of that against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like that type of stuff. He's going to have to get a little bit more creative to kind of make up for that the running ability of Marcus Mariota is no longer going to be in there with Desmond Ridder as a starter. So I think that's going to be something that we're going to have to watch out for as well.
But what I do like, advantage Desmond Ridder, as long as, the Saints don't give him fits. And we know that they have some injuries. They've been as injury plagued as anybody this season. Yes. But what I do like about Desmond Ridder is what happened last week. I feel like, okay, maybe it'll happen because of a timing situation and this being his first game, but it definitely won't be because of accuracy. We all saw opportunities where if Marcus Mariota had just placed that ball where it was supposed to be. I'm thinking about Drake London being, and him being on that left sideline, and the end zone was his to have. And that ball just was not placed properly. We've all seen mostly underthrown balls, but some overthrown balls. I feel like, you may see that in the beginning with him, almost similar to what we saw with Kenny Pickett in his first game, where the first half or the first quarter, it was like, oh, dear God, was this the right move? But then he goes 10 of 13, and the 3 picks that he got, those were all the fault of his receivers. So I would actually bet on that being an advantage for Desmond Ridder. There's a long ball situation that the Falcons just have not been able to take advantage of with a Drake London. I think you got a little something there that may offset, to your point, the inability to maybe use the RPO as often. And one more thing, if Arthur Smith, for example, does that 6, 7, 8 run in a row situation, I believe Desmond Ridder would be able to take advantage of play action way down the field and get you the 7 points that seemed to elude you last week and in the weeks prior.
And I think that, kind of that chemistry, the chemistry between Drake London and Desmond Ridder during rookie mini camps, and how those guys were hanging real tough in the spring tee. And I think that's going to be something that I think we're going to see the benefits of that, specifically with that chemistry between Drake London and Desmond Ridder, because we know what it wasn't between Marcus Mariota and Drake London, because we know he's going to, if you get it there, he's going to catch it. And I think that was something that we continually saw, like, just fail. Like, Marcus Mariota just could not get him the rock in a timely manner, or whether it be an overthrow or underthrow, or just not seeing him and not getting the ball where he needs to be. Like, as we saw as the last 2 games, the game ended with a Marcus Mariota interception, and they're losing 4 out of the last 5. I think this was an easy decision for Arthur Smith, but like I said, it was definitely timely. It was definitely the perfect timing, because, like you said, you got an extra week to prepare against your divisional rival. It's on the road down in NO, but I'm perfectly fine with Arthur Smith making a decision right now. And like I said, he saw the light early on in the week, and now it's hey, let's ride. Let's figure it out, and let's see what the young kid got. Now, a guy that no one questions in the city, Alex Anthopoulos.
Yes.
I think a lot of people can say they wholeheartedly trust Alex Anthopoulos. I know I'm on that boat, but when you talk about what we mentioned on the show yesterday, when we were talking about Trae Turner signing with the Philadelphia Phillies, and Kenley Jansen going to the Boston Red Sox and signing a 2-year, $32 million deal. Right. I think we saw a shift, and I even brought it up. We talked about it as far as how maybe that setup guy is going to be a priority. And I think this pretty much proves, because the Braves acquired Joe Jimenez, and they actually sent the for cash considerations, and they sent over prospect who was very promising, Justin Henry Malloy, who a lot of people were talking about he would potentially come up next year at left field position. That's a need right now in 2023, but they send him away, and I think this just shows that Alex Anthopoulos made this a priority.
Yeah, I really like the move, because we also acknowledge that Rasil Iglesias can more than be your closer and be effective.
Absolutely.
So it really was, like you said, the setup guy. And although you do have some options there, I like the fact that Alex Anthopoulos was aggressive in going out to get someone who has a proven record.
You gotta like it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So when you look at his percentage, for example, like a strikeout rate, and you're looking at like 50 innings, if you will, I mean, it's a crazy percentage. It was something like 83%. It's just, his numbers are really very good. And then it's almost like a strikeout per inning that he pitched, by the way. So if that's what we're dealing with, and that kind of puts you in the mindset of what Rasil Iglesias showed us in his short time with the Braves, I feel like it's a good move. And I feel like, hey, that's one less thing that Alex Anthopoulos has to focus on, because between the time that we got on yesterday and now today, another chip has fallen in the race for the shortstops. So pretty much Xander Bogaerts is gone. So now it's down to Carlos Correa and Dansby Swanson as far as those top 4 shortstops in the league. So now that you've got one piece out of the way, you've got your bridge guy for your bullpen. Like you said, now we're only talking about a left fielder, and we're talking about a shortstop. But I feel like he's going to more than figure out that left field. I just do. He's going to figure out somebody who can be plugged in there and be successful. Now you got to figure out what you're going to do. You got to focus on that shortstop, because like I said, Xander Bogaerts, 11 years. Trae Turner, 11 years. Now we're just waiting to see what happens with Correa. And once those 3 dominoes pretty much hit, now it's on for Dansby.
Yep, and I think that it's funny that the numbers, right, are incrementally coming down, right? We got 300 with Trae Turner, and you got 280 with Xander Bogaerts, and it'd be funny if Carlos Correa is 260, and then is Dansby gonna get 240 million? So those are some of the things, and we know that he won't get that from the Braves. I could just I think it's pretty safe to say that. But it's interesting how this thing is all starting to play out because, they call this the hot stove, but, it's been lukewarm these past couple of years.
Yeah.
And, everybody been taking their time spending their money. But, the monopoly money is flowing as it can possibly flow when you're talking about MLB free agency. Now, what we hope.
I talked to our guy, Grant McCauley, who, of course, does our postcast for Braves games. And I just asked him a question out of curiosity about the shortstops and sort of, I'll call it the shortstop sweepstakes. And he said for him, he's eyeing the value of the time versus the money. So he's interested to see where the Braves are going to land with Dansby because those 11 years, that's the thing that stopped him on both of those contracts. So he was like, that he thinks is going to be not so much the deal breaker, but it might be the more mitigating factor than even the money.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you talk, it's hard to turn that down, right? Like there's no hometown discount when you're talking about making a lot of money with the AAV that everybody like to throw around that term and over a long term of time, long period of time. And I think that's something that just you look at the player and you be like, it was good while it lasted, and we got a World Series. Let me go get this money. And I totally would understand if Dansby Swanson were to do that. Now, you trying to get some money. How about you go to betonline.net because it is the fastest and easiest way to for all your online betting needs. Go to betonline.net because I was surfing around, I was looking, trying to figure out what the spread was for the Georgia-Ohio State. The Bulldogs are sitting right there at 6.5, basically a touchdown. Woo, are you gonna do it? The over-under is 61.5 right now. All right, Ohio State can put up some points. We know Georgia can put up some points. If you're trying to figure out where to go, what you need to do, go to Bet Online because it is the top online source for all your sports wagering information, live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts. You guys come to us each and every day for all your ATL sports needs. We've been telling you Desmond Ridder was going to be the starter. Now do you believe us? Anyway, but yeah, I think that if you want to go there for all your wagering information, they got podcasts right there for you and give you all the information you need to make some money. So head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today because Bet Online is where the game starts.
Yeah, well, that may be where the game starts for Bet Online, but where the game ended for the Hawks in Gotham last night was when Dejounte Murray went down. When he was he was in position. You're excited, you're encouraged, even though the Knicks sprinted out to a sizable lead early. No worries. You got Dejounte Murray, you got Trae Young, you're good, right? Wrong. You don't have DJ because DJ goes down with an ankle injury in that first quarter, and then in the second quarter, it's confirmed that he is not coming back in the game. And of course, we know what happened, the 113-89 blowout of the Hawks, because not only did they not have arguably their best two-way player on the court, but you also have your two sharpshooters in Trae Young and Bogdan Bogdanović going 0 for 14 combined. And miraculously, the Knicks, who are pretty much bad in every category, were shooting the lights out of the three last night. But
they're one of the worst team in the league, by the way, shooting
exactly
the three.
Like they're in the bottom, they're literally in the bottom 5 in 3-pointers made. So you look at that and it was still an anomaly, right? But you also look at it and say, wow, did you feel like, Jarvis, when you saw DJ go out, knowing that you already have 2 starters down, did you feel like, man, if DJ's not there, no dub for us tonight?
Absolutely.
I've got a follow-up to that too, but go on with part one. I got something else.
So I looked at that. I looked at it from the standpoint of just given the situation, right? All the drama, all the stuff, all the crap that's been going on.
Yes.
And Trae has been struggling. This is one of his worst shooting performances of his career. Since he came into the NBA, he's shooting under 30% from 3, which is not good from a guard standpoint. And what Dejounte brings to this team, not only can he affect the game offensively, we know what he can do handling the rock and distributing, but what he brings to the table on the defensive side. And we've seen him take over games, lead the charge defensively to take over games and get the dub. Man, when I saw him go out, given all those factors, I was just like, I said to myself, I was like, They ain't got no shot to win this game at
Right.
all.
Right. I was surprised that they actually battled back at all to within 1 point. And that was really because in that second quarter, they kind of went to a zone defense. So they were
Yep.
able to slow the Knicks down. And
Yep.
then, of course, Onyeka Okongwu subs in, and he scores most of the points in that second quarter for the Hawks. But again, like you said, in that third quarter, Jalen Brunson and really just their backcourt. And of course, Julius Randle was just strong the whole game, but then their
Yes.
backcourt started to really come alive. And that's when you say, oh my God, we don't have the two-way backcourt that we need to be able to stave off this barrage. We just don't have it. And so, yeah, I literally, when he went out, I said the same thing. I was like, oh dear God, we're going to lose this game tonight. Oh God, we're going to have an 0-2 road trip because of course they were with the Nets tomorrow night. But I'll ask you a part two on that question as well. Real talk, because I do think that you would give an honest answer here.
Mm-hmm.
When Trae was out of the game last week, but Dejounte was in, did you automatically feel like this was Friday? Did you automatically feel like the Hawks were going to lose that game?
No. Because here's why. Because I know that the main reason why is because Dejounte can affect the game in multiple ways. You said
Yes.
two-way player. You with an emphasis on there. A two-way player, a guy that I know that if his offensive game is struggling, guess how he's gonna try? What he's gonna do? He's gonna adjust his game, and not defensively, but offensively.
Yep.
He's gonna say, you know what? My outside shot ain't hitting. I'm about to hit this mid-range. If my mid-range ain't hitting, I'm about to get to the basket and do what I do and make it do what it do, baby. We're gonna run this pick and roll. We're gonna do everything I possibly can to get going and get into some type of rhythm. And then if I start feeling it, then I start taking those 3-point shots. But I think that's one of the reasons why I wasn't too concerned when Trae was out or did not show up at the game. Let me go ahead and make sure I'm clear on that. And I think that when you have a guy like Trae, it seems like he's want to continue shooting. And I know we've said this, and this is the best, the longest term saying that everybody uses when it comes to basketball. Keep shooting. Tell them keep shooting. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you're more than a shooter, which Trae Young is, he's more than a shooter. He needs to doggone figure out how to get to the basket, get to the free throw line, because he gets the benefit of the doubt with the referees. So go ahead and do that. And Bogdanovich too. I know he's just coming off an injury, but good Lord, man. If hit everything he threw up last night, I was just like, oh, that's not going in. That's not going in. I'm just like, dude, if I'm sitting here saying that and feeling that, I get the whole shoot your way out of it, the slump stuff, but take it to the rack. Bo got a nice little mid-range game. He got a little handle. He can do a little thing. He ran the backup point guard last year in a pinch. So I think all of those things come into play when you start thinking about, like, okay, when certain guys go out, what's going to happen? Who's going to step up? And I think that one more interesting thing that I thought was last night that Trae Young said when he talking about Dejounte going out, he's talking about we got to step up or is next man up. No, you the man.
Right.
Like, ain't no next man up. You're the man. This ain't football. This is basketball. Like, you're the man. You need to step up. It can't be everybody all sad that Dejounte is out. Dejounte just got here.
Right.
Trae, you the man. Yeah. You step up. Okay, I have to step up. I have to pick my game up. I have to step it up when Dejounte goes out. No. We got to step it up and next man up. You ain't no doggone 6 man.
Right.
You the man.
Yeah.
Step up.
Yeah. Sorry, and if you think, no, that's why I asked you that question. That's why I said, let me pose it a different way.
Right.
Because I feel the same way. I feel like, okay, you're stating next man up. What next man? I mean, that's your third starter who's down. So
you're the man.
Right. They're just 2 men at this point. You and Clint. That's it. The bookend. Yeah. And really and truly, it's you. Because Clint's going to do Clint things. CC did his job last night. So Trae, you got to do yours, because AJ Griffin is still a rookie and Jalen Johnson is still finding his way. So, and the kind of the carousel at the 2, I mean, you really don't know who to put in on any given night. That's why I'm just going to call that a carousel. So there has to be continuity and consistency at the 1. There absolutely has to be consistency, and you do have to play lights out. You do. Yeah. Even if they lose to the Nets tomorrow night, Jarvis, he has to play lights out, because he has to get back in. We know he's not a vocal leader on the sidelines or in the locker room. Well, then your voice better show up on that court, because that is the only way that you're going to be able to right the ship. It's going to have to be by example. Now, this is continuing to be a hot topic, Trae Young and what's going on in that locker room, which is kind of the saga that continues as far as the Hawks go. But that Desmond Ridder moving into that quarterback starting position has been something for the world to see here in sports.
Yes.
So those stories and the reaction to it on Locked On Sports Today. So, of course, you love to hear our local perspective, but you can get a national perspective there as well on their show, because they hit all the biggest stories and they hit all of the hottest topics. Now, they also have their version of For the Culture, right? So it's Take of the Day. So check that out. I'd be so excited to see what they had to say about the fact that this is the 6th rookie quarterback who's getting a start in 2022, and that we have now gone through the NFC South and every single team has rotated out of the starter that they had in week 1. So if you want takes like that, check them out through the Odyssey app, YouTube, or wherever you download your podcasts, just like you check out ATL Day Ones. And another thought that I had, Jarvis, as we wrap up our combo on the Hawks, but you guys know there are layers to this, so it'll be continuing, if you will. But my other thought was this: with all due respect, last year when this team was imploding, we all had to say pump the brakes, because there were so many injuries that Nate deserved a pass. This year, I feel like between having almost overturning your entire roster, in addition to having Bogdan Bogdanovic out, now he comes only for you to lose JC, DeAndre, and DJ for however long that's going to be.
Right.
Don't you think we need to stop hearing this hashtag Fire Nate conversation?
Yeah, first of all, they take away the injuries. I don't think that, just from a basketball standpoint, I don't think that Nate should be fired. I think that the players should play better, right? Because like I said, if Trae is shooting 3% better from 3, I don't even think we having this conversation. So because I think that just given how things are going and given the additions that were brought in, I think Dejounte Murray was a good pickup. I think that Travis Schlenk and Landry Fields made the right decision by bringing him into the fold.
Absolutely.
So, I think so. The whole Fire Nate conversation from a basketball standpoint, I think the answer to that question is no. Yeah. And also, given all these injuries and what he's dealing with, and Trae still struggling, I think that, of course, he should get a pass. And I don't even think we should even be having this conversation, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how I feel about Nate as a coach.
Same. I would agree. Yeah, absolutely would agree. And I just think, to put a caveat on where you and I stand in favor of and in support of Coach Nate McMillan, is just to say, now everybody needs to fall back, because this man has literally 3 starters down, and low key, just to give Trae a little bit of cachet, that shoulder is still a little bit of a nag, right? So you got to go with that. But if all of this has stressed you out, or if it made you happy that Desmond Ridder is now the QB, why don't you go celebrate by going to Built.com? Right. Or if you're stressed out, go get something from Built.com to help you out with that too, because they've got 100% chocolate when it comes to their puffs, and they're really good for stocking stuffers. We are getting so close to Christmas. Don't you want to go ahead and get some cool stocking stuffers?
Right around the corner.
Do check out Built.com, because you can get 15% off on your first order by using the Locked On 15 code. And don't forget, it's a healthy snack, so people will enjoy it because it's just a really good look and it tastes good, but also 160 grams. Not bad for calories, and then 15 grams of protein. It's a good look. Built.com, Locked On 15 is your code on your first order. Go check that out.
Absolutely. Locked On Sports Atlanta family, you guys been trying to figure out, how do we get in touch with Tenitra? How do we get in touch with Jarvis? Or y'all maybe just want to get in touch with Tenitra. That's cool too. If you want to do that, go to your little email, wherever your little email is, Yahoo, Gmail, or AOL, even having an AOL account. I know people who still have an AOL account. Hotmail, whatever you want to get, whatever email you have. Email atlday1s@gmail.com. atlday1s@gmail.com is the contact for the show. If you guys got any comments, questions, or anything, you got suggestions, we'll read them, but we might not take them in. We might not do it, but it's cool. If you just want to send a suggestion, be like, hey man, y'all, I think y'all should do this, we might consider it. But yeah, atlday1s@gmail.com. But T, This is For the Culture. It is the intersection between sports, entertainment, and the culture, and sometimes whatever the hell we want to talk about. Because that's how we get down on this show. Today is no different. The Black College Hall of Fame, they have their class, T. They have the 2023 class. It's going down. How about this? Our guy, Leslie Frazier, excuse me, from Alcorn State University is starting it off with along with Henry Lawrence, Albert Lewis, Jim Marsalis, Tyrone McGriff, Elijah Pitts, Johnny Walton, and Coach Pete Richardson out of Winston-Salem State and Southern. So they have the new class, T. Hey, congratulations to each and every one of the newly inducted Black College Hall of Fame.
Indeed. And you know we do not want those people coming from us from Mississippi. So Alcorn folks, I put the correction on it, okay? Don't come. Don't come for Jarvis. Alcorn State folks, we congratulate you guys for having Leslie Frazier as an inductee. Trust me, they'll come for you if you don't.
I know.
And then for my Jaguar Nation, Southern goes before Winston-Salem State for Coach Pete Richardson.
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead.
Them Southern folk different. They different.
They
special.
Yeah, you know, I am an honorary Jag. So, but congratulations to that entire class. Our guy Steve Weish is, of course, always just gracious in supporting them and being one of the hosts for their event. So we look forward to going there next year and being there for the induction ceremony, which is typically around the Juneteenth weekend. And who knows, if you guys come down to the College Football Hall of Fame, which is where the Black College Football Hall is on that third floor, you might just see ATL Day Ones broadcasting from there.
Absolutely. On a more serious note, Brittney Griner, she's coming home, T. And she was detained over in Russia for 10 long months, excruciating months, I'm sure. I think she's the only one that can really speak to that, right? You know, when you think about how long that is a very long time to be in a foreign country. I know she played professional basketball over there, but to be away from your family for that long, I think is something that it says something about what she had to endure while she was over there. But she's coming home, T.
Yeah, and just congratulations to all of her friends and family and her ardent supporters, those who spoke out each and every day, like Coach Don Staley from University of South Carolina. She was one of, and the reason I mentioned her and also Steph Curry is because there was a need for those voices, great and small voices, but those great voices that just did not quit. I'm talking every single day. And the Ariel Chambers, every single day. She was even profiled for some of the support for the WNBA as well as Brittney Griner. So you got to just give love to those guys. And also everybody, let's just keep praying for Brittney Griner because her journey is just beginning. Her journey of healing mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I mean, like you said, Jarvis, 10 months. I'm looking at a door right now and I can walk out of that door freely. But what happens, and I'm like, probably in double the space that she was in. What happens if this space compresses to half of what it is? And then I try to go to that door and someone on the other side says, nope. And they tell me no every day for 10 months that I cannot leave that door out of that door unless they say so. That's what I keep playing out in my mind. And I'm like, thank God we got her back before her mental started to take toll. It started to take a true toll on our mental. So again, congratulations to those guys. And lest we forget Paul Whelan, the retired military, the Marine, if you will, who is still there. And I do think that that's a part of why it was a high stakes negotiation with that arms dealer. And for those many people who've had to endure this or who are continuing to endure, let's not forget that there is a fight. And you guys know, Jarvis and I, we are spiritual and we are believers. So sometimes you go through these things and you come out and you are a super advocate. And I have a sneaking suspicion that Brittney Griner is not going to just let this be about Brittney. I have a sneaking suspicion that she's going to definitely use this as a platform for others.
Absolutely. And we hope that you continue to support our platform right here on ATL Day Ones as you make it your first listen today. And why don't you go ahead and make Locked On Sports today your second listen? They have everything that you need when it comes to all the big stories of the day. And they also have the take of the day, which is kind of conducive to what we got going on For the Culture. And you can find it wherever you download your podcast, wherever you download us, you can find them there as well. Make sure you all come back tomorrow because we're going to talk about this Desmond Ridder just a little bit more. Y'all make sure y'all come back now. Yeah.